Hey guys, I'm Nick, President and CEO of DropbackTV, and today I'm doing a tutorial for you guys. Now, this is a little bit of a different setup than what we did last week, but that's because we're on a computer for this whole entire thing because I need to show you guys some stuff, and we're going to break down 3 thumbnails, one that's pretty much perfect, 2 that are one that's okay, and then another one that's not good at all. And I'm going to show you guys what thumbnails need to have and what they don't need to have. Now, sadly, I'm not going to teach you guys how to make thumbnails in Photoshop skills. If you would like to see some of that, let me know in the comments. You guys control this channel. We will make the videos that you guys want to see. So if you want to see some Photoshop skills and how to do some of this stuff in Photoshop, let me know in the description or in the comment section down below, and we will do those tutorials. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and jump on into this. So I am going to be using tutorial or thumbnails from my channel because I think they're good and they work for me. You know, you can change these and do different things on however you want to, right? These are, at the end of the day, your thumbnails, but I'm going to give you guys some general rules to follow when making them. So first off, we want to use bright colors, okay? As you can see, we have white, we have bright yellow, we have bright greens, and even some light and bright blues in the background there. So we want to use bright colors that are going to catch people's attention. You know, when you're scrolling through your YouTube subscription box, do you stop and look at thumbnails that are all dark and dreary? No, you probably don't. You want to find these thumbnails that are really bright and in your face because those are the ones you're going to click on and they're going to catch viewers' attention. Additionally, we don't want to put any extremely important information right here. Why is that? Well, let me show you. If we go up here to my browser, we can see that right there. What is that? That is the time code of the video. That's how long the video is. And as you can see, we can't see that this is the Tekkit mod pack. We can't see this logo because of this right here, because of the time code. However, we see all the other information that we have to see in the thumbnail. The Tekkit time code there, or the Tekkit, you know, what mod pack this is, isn't necessarily important. And as you can see, in most of my thumbnails, I don't have anything being covered up that's extremely important. Like, you can still read what's going on right here, and that's with all of my thumbnails. I try to do that. However, there are some exceptions, like this one, and I saw another one, this one right here. You can't do it with everything, but try your best to keep things out of the lower right hand corner of your thumbnails because they'll be covered up by the time code and nobody wants that. As you can see, I put Tekkit down here because there still needs to be something there because if people see this a bigger size, they'll be able to see that. So you want to put something there. You don't just want to leave that blank, but make sure it's not completely necessary for people to know what's going on in the video. So pretty much that's breaking down that thumbnail, and this is just a simple, you know, if we take that away, as you can see, this is just a simple screenshot out of Minecraft that I took, and it's now the background of every single one of my Modtastic series. Additionally, I want to say that thumbnails of a series need to be the same because once people start watching a series and get ingrained in the series, they want to just know what that thumbnail is, and they're more likely to click on the thumbnail of a series if it's the same as all the other thumbnails because they're, you know, they see this and they're like, oh, that's Modtastic, I know that, and they click it. They don't have to be like, wait, what is that, before they click it. They automatically know that that is this series, this thumbnail is this series. And each week I just come in here, and for episode 4 I'll just change that to 4, and boom, we're good to go. That's all I need to do. Nevertheless, this is the next thumbnail. Now, this is a video that's not out on my channel yet, but we can still break it down here, and I made it for the example of this video. Now, as you can see, we did put something down here in the bottom right that isn't necessarily, like, important for the video, right? This doesn't have to be here. If this went away, you still know what's going on. But if we add the face, if you see the big thumbnail, it's going to be there, but the time code covering it up isn't going to be the be-all end-all. It's still okay. That being said, this isn't perfect. There are a few things we can do to make this thumbnail better. One, the text right here is way too stretched out. I mean, as you can see, this is huge. Like, it's that big. That's not good at all. We don't want that. So we could actually shrink this down a little bit if we wanted to. And I mean, as you can see, we can shrink it down that much, and it's still fine, right? It's still good to go. Now, however, my face is still covering this up a little bit, and we don't want that either. So we can shrink this down just a bit there to where now we're not covering up, maybe a little bit there, but nothing is major. That being said, this is a bright thumbnail, and it is going to catch people's attention. So if they're scrolling through their subscription box, they're going to see that and be like, whoa, I know what that is. Or, wow, that's a really bright thumbnail. I want to at least click on that and see what's going on in that video because it catches my attention. And that's what you want thumbnails to do. You want people to see them and be like, whoa, I see that. That catches my attention, and you want people to click on those things and, you know, catch their attention span. That's what you're trying to do. So, as you can see, we can clearly see this text now and all of that stuff. However, if we take away the stroke on that, this is a bad thumbnail now, right? We cannot see what this text says. We got the bright colors in the background, and we've got the bright white. That's not good at all. That is a very bad thumbnail now because we just can't see what's going on. We have no clue what this says, especially if we minimize it all the way down to there. I can barely freaking read that. I mean, maybe, but it's not anywhere as legible as it should be. So we need to make sure that these are clear and easy to see from a distance. And in Photoshop, what I have seen, let me go ahead and re-enable the stroke and the drop shadow here. So there's the thumbnail. So now if we minimize this down, I can clearly read what that says and games I'm excited for this year. So that's fine. Yeah, so that's that. Now, I also want to mention this. As you can see, I have this branching off, this starburst effect in the background, branching off from the back of my face. And I think that looks good because it has a central location. There are some, you could leave this in the middle, like right there, but I don't think that looks as good. I think that it needs to be, in my opinion, over here like this, and I think that looks better. That being said, this is something that you could take liberty on and take control of, and if you don't think that looks good, you could move this to the middle, or even, make it starburst from the top corner up there if you wanted to. But yeah, so that's one of the things that isn't set in stone. What is set in stone, though, is thumbnails need to catch people's attention, and they need to be legible from a very, very far distance. And honestly, right here is 4% of the original in Photoshop. So right down here, you can see 4%. I had it whenever I'm zoomed all the way in here. This is at 66%. So if we zoom all the way out, that's how small it's going to be on YouTube, and it needs to be legible at that size. Now, if we go over here, this is the example of a terrible thumbnail. This is the last one we're going to be looking at today, and this is a just epically bad thumbnail for a few reasons. One, it's not bright at all, and if we zoom out here, we can't see this. There's 4%. I can't see that at all. That's terrible, and on YouTube, it's going to be even worse than it is in Photoshop. So that is simply just bad. That being said, there is a little bit of room over here, so it might not, take out the whole entire text. You might be able to still read it even with the time code. But that being said, this is just a bad thumbnail. And the dark background with the dark black, just, it looks terrible. Even if we were to change this text color to a white and make it on the dark background, even still, this dark background isn't going to catch people's attention, and it's actually going to look really fuzzy on YouTube. The darker the colors are, for some reason, the fuzzier they look on YouTube. So this is not a good thumbnail at all. Stick to lighter and brighter colors, and make sure text is clearly legible with black outlines if you're using really light text. Or on this light background, right, these are lighter colors. You want to use a stroke if you want Photoshop and make this black in outlines. And on this, if you were going to use this thumbnail, you need to make this text white. But at the end of the day, this is just a terrible thumbnail at all. And I wouldn't use this color background ever. I would stick to a white. If you wanted to go dark, you can use a black. If you use a black, it still looks fine. It still looks okay. And it's not going to be fuzzy on YouTube and things like that. That being said, I would stay away from any dark colors at all. Any colors that are honestly past let's see here. Honestly past, in this right here, these dark blues and dark purples I wouldn't do. You can use the pinks. Reds can look really fuzzy, so I try to stay away from reds. However, I have seen them used in thumbnails and look good in any of these colors right here. Light blue, green, and yellow. All of those look pretty good in thumbnails. And if you look at my channel, you'll see tons of those thumbnails with those three colors. Blue, light blue, like lime green, light green, somewhere in there. Not dark green, but one of the lighter greens, and yellow. as well as a little bit of orange mixed in because that looks good as well. But yeah, that's pretty much all of my tips on thumbnails. Real quick, make sure that you don't put any extremely important information like text or something like that in this area, because it will be covered up by the time code on YouTube, and we can see an example of that right here. Additionally, you want to make sure that you keep text very clear, very legible. Don't do dark colors on dark colors. Make sure things are bright and catch people's attention. And make sure series have the same kind of thumbnail and are similar, because people want to know when, as soon as they see this thumbnail, without even seeing Modtastic even, they should know that this is Modtastic, because it's the same thumbnail that it's always been, and it's consistent. So yeah, there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you guys want to see specific Photoshop tutorials on how to do some of this stuff, like how to add the black outlines on the text, how to, reformat text so I can make this, super small or super big, or how do you guys want to know how to do that stuff? If so, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be more than happy to do some tutorials on this in the coming weeks on the DropbackTV channel. Anyway, guys, subscribe if you haven't already, partner with DropbackTV, and gain as you grow. I'm DropbackTV President and CEO, and I'm out, guys. Peace.